Okay, while I'm here, another question was how did I do the little border thingy that I did before? I don't remember which technique I used. Sorry. You have to go back to class and look. But one of the techniques that we can use um, as I'm doing this would be to grab a brush. And let's see if we can find a brush that's going to give us kind of a rough looking edge. Okay, I obviously have some stuff going on, so I'm going to open my window brushes. Brush settings. I don't want it to scatter much. I want shape dynamics. I don't mind a little of that, but I don't want as much angle. Yeah, okay, now I can probably control it a little better. And so I'm just gonna, let's go pick up a color option. Beef brush. Would have helped had I been in the actual brush tool. And that's as good as any, I guess. Okay. Not too much scattering. A little bit of angle jitter. A little bit of size jitter. Yeah, I can work with that. Shrink that down a little bit. Okay, so I create a new layer for it. I'm going to just option click. I'm not. I'm going to control click. Okay. Pick up a little color there, and I'm just going to use the edge there. That brush and kind of cut in and out on that edge brush. To kind of other videos done rendering. Work that edge, cut in some, cut out some. I'm probably going to end up dropping this behind the text when it's done. Okay, so I have that in place. There's a couple different things I can do. Now that I have that in place, I can certainly kick it into like a multiply mode to darken it up. Or I could command click it and make a solid color instead. That looks a little cooler. I don't need that original layer. Again, I had a thumbnail of what I painted, so I can command click to load that thumbnail as a selection. Now I can drag this down maybe below my text. Deleted the wrong one. Nice job, Greg. This is the one that I don't need. This is the one I need to drag down here. And now we have kind of a cool looking effect around the edge. Okay. Again, because I can command click, if I wanted, I could put a gradient in there or something else. Fancy. I already have that turned on. Command D. So maybe a bevel and emboss. Instead of going up, I'm going to tell it to go down. So it kind of cuts into it a little bit. Maybe add a little texture on that. So let's go grab a pattern overlay. I'm just going to grab my little box pattern here that I created. Make it kind of small. It's in multiply mode, so it's not going to show up against that background very well. So let's kick it to an exclusion mode, just so we have a little bit of texture there. Not loving it, but it's not bad. Let's get something else going there. Maybe this thing will look better. Overlay against black isn't going to show up, but maybe a screen will, because the screen's lightened, so I can pick up just a touch of texture there and maybe a little gradient as well. Lined up so it's angled, so that it's going along with the direction of the arms there. Click it and overlay. Okay, and so there we have it. Okay, so in this one, what we want to do is kind of blend some images together. Let me go back and get my workspace arranged, reset essentials. All right, so I'm going to jump over just because I have an image here. I want to bring all this over at one time, so I'm just going to convert it to a single image. Command Alt Shift E, merge all visible layers to a single layer. And now that I have that there, I'm going to come over here, and as I bring it over here into this one, I'm going to just hold Shift so that it automatically centers. Okay, well, that's great, except it's not blending with what's underneath it. So the easiest way to start to create a blend between two or more layers, is we're going to just grab a mask. I'm going to go over to my gradient tool, G for gradient. It's black and white. I'm going to use a linear gradient in most cases, and the longer out I drag it, the smoother or softer that blend's going to be. That's almost a hard cut line, but if I were to start here, drag with what's visible, and way over here is where it's going to be completely invisible. You can see I get a really smooth blend from one to another. So that's one way to go about blending objects. Just play with it a little bit to get exactly what blend you're looking for. Hey, that looks even better. I like that. Okay, I'm just using gradients, and you notice over here on my layer mask, I'll alt-click on the layer mask so I can actually see the layer mask. You see that black hides, white reveals, and we can see exactly where that's taking place within that image. As you're trying to blend from top to bottom, that will help a lot. So I'm going to do one other technique here for you. Delete. Okay, we're back to this, and I'm going to pretend that it's something small. Hold the Shift key, or no, don't hold the Shift key. Last version. This is kind of in there. And now I need to blend just this, but I don't want those sharp edges. I want it to blend in better. And so again, I'm going to, on this layer, grab a mask. Now I'm going to go to Brush Tool and come up here and grab my soft brush. And I typically use a really large brush for this. Black hides, white reveals. So I'm going, the edge of that brush is where it's 50% visible. And so, Just make sure I'm on my actual brush tool. Thank you. I bet I'm on a hard, yeah, let's make sure that brush is good and soft. So that edge is where it's actually 50% visible, so I'm just going to come and start working. Yeah, I need even bigger than that. And just kind of work it slowly, gradually. I've got something going on in that brush. Window brushes, brush settings. No, I don't want a dual brush or that or even that. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to just, you notice how it starts to get that edge. Might even go bigger than that because I'm still not getting quite as soft as I want. I can just kind of blend it in. And again, because it's a mask, I can paint stuff back in by hitting the X to swap between painting black and painting white. And just kind of blend in around the edges. So that's going to be one way to go ahead and blend that in. There's lots of different techniques, but you'll find that, again, when you're working with masks, which is the easiest way to do something like this, black hides, white reveals. If it's too aggressive, change your opacity or your flow. Just kind of work those edges till you get what you want. Remember that changing the size of your brush is bracket up or bracket down. Have fun with it. Okay, hope that helps.